Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for Good Girls, Season 4, Episode 6, Grandma Loves Grisham. So we got the security guard from Annie's old job, you know, Baby T. He getting ready for work. He got a new job. He working out, trying to eat right, you know, whatever. We just seeing a little glimpse into his life. He's headed out for his new security job, and when he gets to work, it's these three women in there robbing the store. He work at a jewelry store. They in there robbing the store. I automatically knew that we were looking at Annie, Beth, and Ruby, but all we see is some masked women, you know, holding up the jewelry store. Then we flash back to days earlier, and Annie is headed out early. Ben is sitting there in the kitchen talking about, where you going? Why you got clothes on? Where you going? Asking all these questions. You know, Annie is very evasive. She doesn't really say where she's going. But she ends up at this class, and we see that she's in class for her GED. So she's, you know, going to try to retake that GED test. And she's keeping that from Ben. Dean, we see him laying on the floor talking to his daughter. You know, she wants him to take her to school, but he's not able to. Of course, he's on house arrest, so he can't go nowhere. Beth come in there, you know, Dean asked her, you know, how did you get that bail money? Like, we were drowning. So how did we afford $100,000? And she's like, I mean, does it matter? Do you want to go back? Like, would you like to go back inside? Because I can make arrangements for that. He's been laying on the floor trying to charge his ankle monitor or whatever, but of course he bored and in the house and don't have nothing to do and don't have nowhere to go or nothing like that. But it's that or in prison. Which one? Take your pick. Stan, he's in the kitchen looking for food. You know, they're behind on the bills. You know, Ruby is sorting everything out, and she finds out that their daughter's prescription has went up. So everybody needs some more income coming in. She asked if he can get a cut, you know, from those fake Celine bags. And he's like, I mean, I don't think so. Like, I don't know. You know, he's like, can't you get a cut from your guy? Like, I don't know what I can get from my guy, but can you get a cut from yours? Beth, Ruby, and Annie, they meet with the Secret Service duo. They tell them, you know, about their need for cash. You know, it's like, listen, we got bills. Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills? Can you pay my automobiles? If you do, then maybe we could chill. Please pay the bills. And the people like, we ain't doing nothing for that. We ain't doing none of that. We can't do none of that. We can't help you. But, you know, Beth, you know, they tell her, you know, until we meet the boss or whatever, like, listen, that's what we're here for. Can you get us to the boss? When is your appointment with the boss? And Beth tells them that she's still waiting on him to respond to her evite. The guy ends up leaving, but the FBI girl still sitting there. She's staring at Beth all weird, talking about, I like your eyes. What's that? Is that smoky eye? Or is it a gray? Or what would you call that? It's very nice. They looking like, bitch, it's eyeshadow. Like, I mean, get you some, blend, do what you got to do. Weirdo. Beth is at home taking off the makeup, and Rio is taking up space in her head because that's all she can think about is Rio. And when Rio be coming up, Rio be like, hey, now. Or when he says her name, and she got Rio on the brain, and she also has Secret Service duo on the brain as well, and what they got going on. She cooking and preoccupied with her thoughts and all of that, and then she wakes up the next morning to a text that we don't see. But we see her meet up with Ruby and Annie, and you know, they worried about, you know, what's gonna happen to them. They're worried about the future. They feel like right now, like they've gone down a rabbit hole. And at this point, they're only digging the hole deeper. Beth is kind of sitting there. She's not really contributing to the conversation. And she's sitting there crocheting. All of a sudden, she's like, dude, how's this mask look? So she in there crocheting masks. So on her mind is a robbery. She got a robbery on her mind. The Secret Service duo, they're in the stakeout van, talking about their future. You know, he's telling her, you know, like, if we make this, if we do this, you know, this could mean promotion for me and da-da-da-da-da. She's like, me too. Yeah, you too. You too, girl. And he notices that she has on some makeup. And he's like, you know they not your friends, right? You know that this is just work, right? Like, you don't get beside yourself now. And then tell her, and that's not your color. That's not your shade. But she say that she's not, you know, taking it too serious, because he gives her a story about a time where he befriended some people that he might have been in cahoots with, working with, and they played him. And so, you know, he's warning her that could happen. Like, Beth could only be befriending you or being nice so that she can get out of this situation. And the girl is like, no, I'm gonna make her my bitch. You'll see, girl. Okay. Annie sits down with Baby T, and, you know, she asks him about his new and exciting job. He's like, it ain't that exciting. And she's like, it could be. It very well could be exciting. You know, let's talk. And he's listening. Beth, Ruby, and Annie, they're at Beth's house, looking at the floor plan of that jewelry store. Dean coming there interrupting. And so they got to stall for a second. Okay, back to it. They end up staking out the place. Ruby goes in there, and, you know, she has her phone propped up in her little hands-free thing on her scooter, riding around, recording everything, you know, casing the joint. Meanwhile, Beth and Annie are back at the trap, you know, taking notes and jotting down what they need to jot down. At the same time, we see Dean. He fixing a bike. I mean, I don't care. Anyway, Beth gets the ladies hammers for the robbery. You know, and they just bust in on the jewelry store. They take all the money. Well, they're not the money, but they take all the jewelry out of the cases, you know, just break it up, you know, that sort of thing. And the man, you know, it's like, okay, y'all can leave. Because they're kind of stalling. And he's like, I mean, I ain't called the police yet. Y'all can go. And they're like, we gonna go. We gonna go. You just get down. You just get out on the ground. Where's your boy at? Damn, it's taking him forever. So they were waiting on Baby T to come in there because he in on it. Baby T get there. Oh, freeze. Turn around. And when he goes to handcuff them, you know, they got to kind of walk him through like, this, okay, like, do what we told you to do. Do what we planned. He thought that it was supposed to be the next day. He ain't even prepared. He ain't even prepared for the fake robbery. Secret Service duo, they come, you know, to bail the ladies out or whatever. And they, of course, you know, they try to flex their muscles a little bit, like, don't play with me. We'll leave your ass in here. We'll leave y'all ass in the jail. And Beth is like, okay, well, I mean, I still got the meeting with the boss. So, you know, that's that. There's still that, you know, and they want to make this case. And so they have to, you know, they have to stay the course with Beth, Ruby, and Annie. But Beth, Ruby, and Annie are like, y'all gonna have to pay us because we ain't finna be doing all this for free. And so they get what they want, and they end up putting them on payroll, you know, reluctantly, but they still do it. Or Beth, Ruby, and Annie just say they gonna rob some more stores. We gonna, oh, what about that? What about that jewelry store down the street? Oh yeah, what about that bank across the street from your house? Yes. Oh my goodness, they just opened up a new museum down the road. Yes. You know, so unless y'all want us robbing everybody around town, put us on payroll. And so that's what they do. Ruby, she counting the money at home, and Stan comes in there and he's like, oh, so your guy came through. She like, something like that. And she puts a piece out and she's like, look at it. Can you tell if it's real or fake? And he's like, not really. I mean, he look at it real good, but he's like, I can't really tell. And she's like, see, that's the point. And then she puts the fake Celine bag up there, and, you know, she's like, you're going to have to tell him, you know, you have to make him, you know how valuable, you have to make him see how valuable that you are. And then that's how you're going to get your cut. And so Stan is back at the strip club, and he's schooling the boss on, you know, authentication. And the guy don't even know what a dust bag is. It's like, yes, all the bags are gonna need to come with the dust bag, the authentication card inside. Like, if you gonna fake this, fake it, okay? don't give me discount mall, okay? I at least wanna know that it was maybe boosted. Boosted, still real, but maybe stolen. But I don't want no fake stuff. Don't nobody want to know that they buying the fake stuff, okay? And he tells him, listen, if you convince these women that it's real, they're gonna pay more. And he's impressed with that, so he's listening. We see Annie about to take her GED test, and she gonna try to bribe the teacher at first with a wad of cash. He like, girl, go take your seat. Go back to your seat. She takes the test. We don't see how she does, but she ends up taking the test. Beth is getting ready to meet with the boss, and they're wiring her up beforehand to go in there. And she gets to the door, and then we hear, "Hey now," and that's Rio, and he takes her round back to the backyard, and we see kids running around, and they in the middle of a whole family get together, and he walks up and he's like, "Oh, I just want to introduce you to the boss," and when he shows her the boss, she's like, "I'm not the boss. I'm just his grandmother." He had her come around there to meet the family. Anyway, Annie, she's at home trying to get on the site to check her test results. The Wi-Fi that she's stealing isn't working, and then she gets a knock at the door, and it's the old therapist Bay. He's drunk boots coming from his bachelor party, and he wants to come inside. Annie is strong at first, and she's like, "Good night." Like, you are not, don't be trying to come up in here with all of that. He got the nerve to tell her he can't get married. Please get off my doorstep with this. Please. And then he, kind of pleads with her to come in, because he say he finna boo-boo on himself, so she let him in. Back at the party, Beth and Rio, they're at the dinner table. She getting grilled by the kids. And first of all, why the kids ain't at the kids' table? Because the kids over here at the adults' table, all in the adults' conversation, when the kids need to be at the kids' table having a kid conversation. That's where we messed up from the start, but because I'm not finna be answering to no child asking me about who I am, what I do for work, how long I done known your uncle. Like, what? Why? You 10. What do you care for? Anyway, Rio got a cousin too that's giving her a hard time, asking her where her wedding ring is, because everybody like, who is this lady? Rio tells the family, that she does stuff for me. She works for me. Oh, she does, huh? Beth is like, oh, I'm married. Oh, where's your wedding ring? Rio was like, listen, excuse my cousin. And cousin gonna say, brother, cousin, excuse my cousin. Cousin, don't try to overstep. Don't overplay your hand. Don't do that. Don't do that. You ain't, Rio say you cousin, so you cousin. Anyway, they're talking or whatever, and Granny is, asking the question. She like, so how many children you got? Beth tells her she got 4 kids. Oh yeah, you married. She married. Rio, starts talking or whatever, and the family is talking, and Beth, she's worried about that wire, because he started feeling all on her back. He done put his arm around her, and he's rubbing on her back a little bit, and she don't want him to feel that wire, so she kind of panics, and it's like, oh, excuse me, where's the bathroom? Can I just go to the bathroom? She excuses herself. Back at Annie's, the therapist, Babe, he out of the bathroom now. He gonna lay on the bed with Annie, and he tells her that he's never, taking a dump at his fiance's house, and she don't do it either. And he's like, how? How is she not taking bowel movements? And he's like, well, I mean, she eats so clean, there's never any, waste, so she doesn't really poop like that. And so he goes to the coffee shop that's down the road, but he's never done that. And he's taken to Annie, because some of those things, those nuances that she has, fiance just ain't giving that. And she has to clarify. So do you really want to be with me, or you just don't want to be with her? Like, there's a difference. And he really don't know, because he kind of sit there, or excuse me, he kind of lays there and doesn't answer. Beth, we see she's running around trying to find somewhere to hide that wire she just snatched off, and she ends up in this bedroom, and she goes and tries to hide it behind some books on a bookshelf, and notices, the family pictures or whatever. Rio comes in there. What you doing? And so she got to, it's a piece of hair in my eye, y'all, sorry. She got to, lie about why she in there, just to make it seem like she just in there being nosy. And they start talking or whatever, and she, I guess to stall, she has to improvise. And so she starts to try to unbuckle his pants. He's like, and she puts that leg up, and he slips that hand under her dress and pulls them panties to the side and slides through. I don't know if he slides through, with his hands or his genitals, but he slide through. And, the FBI girl, she on the other end of that wire listening in. But listen, hey, she had to do what she had to do. At the same time, though, we see Dean. He riding his bike around the city. Well, not around the city, around the neighborhood with that nighttime bike riding crew. He getting his life. I mean, just having a great time until that ankle monitor start beeping. You're too far out of radius. Get on back to the house. And so his little good time is short lived. Womp womp womp. Annie. She wakes up the therapist the next day. Therapist Bay is at the house, and he's all worried, like he done missed the wedding. But she's like, you got time. I done woke you up in good time. She gives him a big, big hug, because he gonna go on out there and marry that girl. Even though he said he didn't want to, even though he said he couldn't, he is still gonna do it. While they're hugging, Ben comes in, and of course Ben jumps to conclusions. He think his mama a hoe. For real. She tries to explain, that she's not lying or whatever. And he done double back on her and tried to check her whereabouts, and where she went. Because she said she was doing something else when she was really over there, taking the GED courses and getting ready for the test. And she ends up coming clean about that. He's like, well, why you didn't tell me? She's like, listen, I thought I was going to fail again. And the embarrassment, I just couldn't. I just couldn't. And thinking about that makes her remember, damn, I forgot. I was checking my results. So they go back in there in the bathroom, holding up the computer and all of that to check and see, these results, trying to get this Wi-Fi right. And it finally comes up, and Ben checks it, and Ben is like, damn. We gonna both have to pay for college. So she done passed. Go Annie. Go Annie. Annie done passed, got that GED. So she's moving in the right direction. Stan gets home from work, and he tells Ruby, I got my cut. And, she's like, how much? And he's like, more than I asked for. How much? And so he takes her into the living room, and the bags are all over the living room. All the fake bags that you can think of are in the living room. And so he's like, we're going to have to find, just as soon as I sell all of these, I'm going to have my cut. So they're going to have to find some women, that have that kind of money to even afford real Celine bags, real, Birkin bags, real Louis, real Gucci, all of that. They're going to have to find, those type of women to try to goop out of their coin. Beth and Dean, they're at the house, and he in there pouting about the radius. He can't ride his bike with his friends, and so he worried about the trial. This is that and the third, and she's like, ain't gonna be no trial. Like, cool it, okay? Ain't gonna be no trial. She makes the kids turn the TV up like way, way, way high. And now she gonna fill Dean in on what she's doing with the Secret Service and, all of her little plans and dealings. She's filling Dean in. We can't hear it because the TV's up real high, but I'm sure that that's the gist of their conversation. And that's where it ends. This daggone show is a roller coaster ride, okay? So if Grandma the boss, then, because he tells Beth that, the family likes her. Right after right after she busts one. Right after she busts one, he was like, oh yeah, by the way, my family likes you. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with these people, but y'all be sure to come back, okay? Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.